Hello my Fiery friends, welcome to another Fiery Fun stream. I'm your host the Infernoman here, and hopefully you're having a wonderful day wherever you're at. So, we had a small little hiccup earlier, but I think everything is now resolved, so we should be able to now get going with our awesome live stream for today. What exactly are we going to be live streaming today? Well, I'm glad you asked. So, let's not waste any more time because we already kind of fumbled a little bit earlier, but let's go ahead, let's jump into it and show you what we're talking about today. Alright, and let's go ahead and get ourselves situated one more time here. There we are. Awesome. Okay, what exactly are we going to be playing today? Well, Mono Black is what we're circling back to today because there was an awesome card that came out from Tarkir Dragonstorm that I'm actually super duper excited to play with. It is a little clunky to try out, but I think we might have just a decent balance in our build here that provides for us a good budget mixed in with something that's actually pretty effective. How is it going to work? Honestly, I'm not sure. The deck has been kind of a little bit up and down for me during testing, but I think we should still be here, and we should be good to go now this time around. Okay. Oh, welcome back then, Splendid. Yeah, sorry for the little hiccup there. I think we're now doing just fine. Okay, so as far as the deck we're going to be playing today, as I mentioned earlier, it is going to be a deck that I'm simply calling Demon Maxing. We're going to be trying to go all as much as possible to get as many awesome, powerful demons out there to overwhelm our opponent and hopefully just drain them to victory or just make sure our demons never go away. So, for those of you who haven't done this before, and for those of you who are new to this, basically we're going to go over the stats of the deck real quick. We'll go over some brief overall info about the deck itself, and then from there, we'll play as many best of one matches, and then of course some best of three, and then for those of you that stick around just long enough, you'll get a nice little view as to how it looks if we were to upgrade this deck completely from what we have today. So, starting off with the stats, because again, long-term viewers of the channel know how we do it, we have to talk about those stats before we dive right in. So, our Demon Maxing deck today is Mono Black with an average mana curve about 2.6, which is pretty high, but don't worry, we'll find ways to make it work. And then with that, we're going to be looking at 16 creatures, 4 instants, 4 sorceries, 14 enchantments, and 22 lands. Oh yes, demons today, everybody. Oh yeah, we're going to be having a lot of fun with this one. So, let's go over now all the stats in the deck and kind of explain to you, of course, let's actually go over the cards right now in order to show you exactly how it's going to look. So, excuse me, everybody. Okay, so the way it's going to work is for the 1-drop slot here, we're going to start with our disruption spells. So we're going to start off with one of our creatures here, Archfiend's Vessel. It's actually not a demon initially. However, if we bring it back from the graveyard to the battlefield, it flips into a powerful 5/5 flying demon. But we'll find a way to kind of make that work in just a moment. So in order to do this, however, we'll have to sacrifice the demon. We have to sacrifice the creature that can turn into a demon. But in order to do that, we will have to, of course, give it away by giving us Final Vengeance here. Final Vengeance is one of our many removal spells in this deck. Final Vengeance means that we have to sacrifice a creature, and usually it will be the Archfiend's Vessel here, which means we can then exile a creature. Well, there's going to be some moments where we want to exile creatures for just destroying them, but we have a variety of removal options with this deck and how it works. So, to do a little extra disruption, we'll also utilize here Hopeless Nightmare. I'm sure many of you have seen this card, and I'm sure many of you are very annoyed by this card, but it does work really well with the deck. So, with this, we can sacrifice it with Final Vengeance as well, so then we can kind of also do some scrying if we need to in a pinch. And then finally, to bring back some of our creatures, and you'll see there's going to be another couple of creatures that we want to bring back quickly. We'll also utilize here sets of Malachor Rebirth. So at instant speed, we can lose 2 life and then bring back a creature that just died back to the battlefield, tapped under our control. This is great for us because we are going to be having some demons that we don't want to lose on the battlefield, and this will be a lot more of an effective option to keep them alive. In the 2-drop slot, this is again where more fun options begin. Momentum Breaker here is again going to be another card that's going to be our slow but effective Edict spell. It'll force our opponent to sacrifice a creature or a vehicle. If they don't have either, they will discard a card. So it's kind of a little bit more card disruption, although unfortunately we can't pick what they have. It still will be good for our deck. Once we start our engines, we can then utilize this later on in the game to sacrifice it to get some life back. So this can be decent for kind of a bit of I guess you could say it's going to be good for some of the slower decks out there to help us, of course, stabilize. Well, of course, throw in something a little faster here. We have Nowhere to Run. I'm sure, again, many of you are probably sick of this card, but it is effective for our deck today. We could -3/-3 something, and then turn off Hexproof and Ward, which is great for us to make sure we can effectively get rid of select creatures we just don't want to deal with. However, one of the new stars of the show, and this is actually a really sweet card here, but it's actually tricky to use. It's going to be Rot Curse Rashkasa. So this demon is a 5/5 and it's a 2-mana card, so it's insanely powerful despite the curve. However, there is a big downside to it. The Rock Curse is, of course, has Trample, which means we can push through damage. However, it has the Decayed ability. So the downside is, unfortunately, the card will die after it does attack, and of course it cannot block either, so that means it's kind of a clunky card to use. However, it also has the renew ability. So if you renew it, which means 2 black and X, you can exile this card from your graveyard, and you put a decayed counter on each of X target creatures. You can only, however, activate this at sorcery speed. But what makes this kind of neat is, it's kind of a, how do I put this? It's kind of a clunky pseudo Wrath. And hear me out on how that works. So in order for this card to kind of be effective, you might have to hold it, just keep it on the battlefield for a little bit and just kind of let it sit there until you know when to swing with it. Once you swing with it, yes, it'll die. However, once it's in the graveyard, by using the renew ability, by putting those decayed counters on enemy creatures, that means if they swing with their creatures, they will lose their creatures. But that really kind of depends on what you want to put them on. So it has to be really well timed. I'm not going to lie with you. It's a little clunky, as I mentioned. I'm just going to keep emphasizing that because when I tried it a couple times, it's effective when it works, but sometimes it won't matter. So we have to make sure we time it well. However, if we want to keep the demon alive a little bit longer, but still be aggressive, that's where those Malachor Rebirths come into play. So hopefully, some way, somehow, we could just do some damage, keep it alive maybe with our Malachor Rebirth, and then if we can just reuse it a couple more times to do some big swings, this should be more effective for us. We'll kind of see how well it does a little bit later in the game. Otherwise, in the 3-drop slot, we'll utilize here copies of Back for Seconds here. This is another one of our cards here that can keep bringing back our creatures from our graveyard to the battlefield. We can utilize the Bargain ability to then get 2 cards, and one of those creatures, if with a mana value of 4 or less, can be entering the battlefield, and the other one goes into our hand, which is actually really, really nice for us. So, in order to utilize this to the best ability, we'll sacrifice some of our extra enchantments we don't need. So this is actually great value for us to get more out of our cards. And then another card that actually kind of flew under the radar for me, but came from Foundations. This is actually Infernal Vessel here. So it's a 2/1 human cleric, but it says when it dies, if it wasn't a demon, return it to the battlefield under our control with 2+1/+1 counters, and now it becomes a demon in addition to its other types. So, in other words, this technically also kind of comes back just like the Archfiend's Vessel here. So notice, it's literally 2 human clerics that are vessels here for other demons. So this is actually great for us to kind of get something cheap on the battlefield that also is hard to get rid of, because when it comes back, it just comes back stronger, and also just kind of provides a good sacrifice for us. And then finally, our final demon in the deck is going to be Archfiend of the Dross. I'm sure many of you have seen this card before, but it's incredibly powerful. Same thing, just like our Rot Curse, it does have its own drawback, but it's a drawback we don't really care too much about, because by the time this card comes out, we should be able to just close out the game very quickly with the Dross on the battlefield. This Phyrexian Demon is a 6/6 flyer, and it also says it enters with 4 oil counters on it. At the beginning of our upkeep, we have to remove an oil counter from the creature, and if there are no more oil counters, we will lose the game. But hopefully we should be able to swing just enough damage before that happens. Anytime a creature an opponent controls dies, their controller will lose 2 life, so that will help speed up the clock as long as we can keep this out. Now, in between all of our effective demons here, we will need a little extra support, so our final card in this deck is going to be Unholy Annex / Ritual Chamber. I'm sure many of you who play Rooms definitely know how this card works. So on the one side here, for 3 mana, the Annex side is, at the beginning of our end step, we draw a card. So it's kind of like a Phyrexian Arena. However, if we control a demon, our opponents will lose 2 life and we gain 2 life. So it's great for stabilization. Otherwise, we will lose 2 life ourselves. So we got to be tricky as to when this comes into play. However, the good news is, if we can time it right, turn 2, a Rot Curse. Turn 3, Unholy Annex. Turn 4, maybe an Archfiend of the Dross. We have a lot of power on the battlefield where we can swing hard and just make sure we can keep drawing good cards and hopefully draw into more action to beat down our opponent. And then you can flip it, of course, on the 5 side to then bring out a 6/6 flying demon creature token. So this is also pretty good on curve here with everything we're doing. But of course, that is perfect Christmas, if everything falls into place, perfect world kind of style. It's not always going to be perfect, but at least we have the flexibility with this card. Now, in terms of keeping this under budget, we will have to, of course, keep it as simple as possible. So it's going to be 21 swamps and a single copy of Witch's Cottage. Depending on, again, what goes into the battlefield, Witch's Cottage could help us bring back another one of our demons to then recast later on, just to make sure we can just keep our game plan going. Now, if you do want to play this in best of 3, here's what I would recommend for you for your sideboard. So if you do need more disruption, you can bring in copies of Duress here, just to make sure your opponent loses key cards that we don't want to deal with. We'll throw in some Knight of Dusk Shadow. While this doesn't feel like it fits the deck well, this is mostly just to kind of deal with the Angel decks out there. Mostly life gain stuff out there kind of wrecks us a bit because we're just trying to disrupt the game plan until we can just do heavy swings. So this will turn off their life gain. And if we have some extra mana open, you can give this a quick little temporary pump if you need to in a pinch. A single copy of Go Blank here makes our opponent discard even more cards for disruption, and also it's graveyard hate because it exiles their entire graveyard. If we need more removal in the deck, we can also bring in Fatal Pushes for a little bit faster removal. And then if we want to do some Graveyard Hate, we have Tiamat here, also chosen from death. Since we have technically a lot of enchantments to kind of stick on the battlefield until we don't need them, this actually becomes a very tough creature to deal with if you are having a combat-heavy opponent. And also by exiling cards, we can also gain some life back, hopefully with some creatures we exile. And then finally, for our Archfiend of the Dross here, we may need to kind of sweep the board a little bit. And we do have a lot of big, swingy, powerful demons. So our Wrath is going to be Golden Demise. I'm pretty sure not that many people remember this card, but there's a very specific reason why I want this one in particular. Golden Demise here is a 3-mana, and it gives all creatures -2/-2 until end of turn. If we do have the City's Blessing, because we will have a lot of stuff on the battlefield, a lot of lands, a lot of enchantments will sit out and do nothing for a little while. So this means we can then turn on the City's Blessing. It means only our opponent's creatures will get -2/-2 until end of turn. Ideally, if we can get a couple of them dead with an Archfiend of the Dross out, we should be able to close out the game, hopefully very quickly, at least in theory. But otherwise, that's the whole deck for you, everybody. Hopefully this will do really well. Yes, it is a budget version, so it may not feel as tight as the usual mono black one, but don't worry. The upgraded one is going to be coming a little bit later in the stream. So, enough of me rambling, but I do appreciate all of you who've been sticking through that. Let's go ahead, let's jump into a couple matches here in Ranked Historic. I'm sorry, not Ranked Historic. Wait, why did I say Ranked Historic? Words are hard, by the way. Explorer, and we're going to see how well the deck does. Phew, okay. Well, there's my explanation, everybody. Appreciate y'all kind of sitting through that as always. But let's see. Can we get some victories with our demons today? Okay. So let's see. Today, let's go ahead and start up, everybody. Demon maxing. Can this deck do it?
It's time to do.
All right. Let's see what we got. So we got 2 Swamps, Archfiend's Vessel. We have a Momentum Breaker for a little bit of disruption. We have some removal of Final Vengeance, and an Archfiend of the Dross. Not the most explosive hand, but this can definitely get powerful if our opponents don't have an answer. Let's see what they got. All right, my opponent, bring it on. So Archfiend Vessel coming out first. All right, opponents. We have a Malachor Rebirth. We may not need this just yet, but we'll see. If our opponent doesn't try to get all swingy here. Oh, okay. So it's a mill deck. Okay. Well, that might change things up a bit because we don't really have any answers for a mill deck. So I think Momentum Breaker is going to have to come down now. Not as effective, but we'll have to do this just to force him to discard a card. All right, opponents. So they throw away a Champion of Wits. Okay, interesting. Get a swing in. All right, Starter Engine is level 2. Although, honestly, the life gain is not going to help us out that much, but we're going to try to see if we can get around it. If we need to in a pinch, we still got our Final Vengeance. We got Malachor Rebirth, so we have great stuff here just to hopefully put more pressure. Come on, opponents. Come on. Oh, still another Drowned Secrets, huh? All right. I was hoping they put down a Crab. If they had a Crab, that actually would oh, okay. Rockers, Rashkas. Okay, Well, I think we can pull this off here. The Rod Curse definitely will put pressure on our opponent once we start swinging with that sucker. All right. Big swing here. So we definitely need now the Malachor Rebirth because we're going to swing with our Rot Curse here. And hopefully we can just bring it back quickly and then just hopefully close this game out very fast. Very Sulech. Wow, our opponent really does not want to play any creatures. I mean, that's fine. But they are running out of gas. So hopefully that's in our favor. But we do need to be quick because they're going to mill us out fast here. Although they are a little slow. So that kind of helps us out a bit. Okay, more milling. Home Scour, okay. All right. Well, all right, so. Oh, okay, so. Okay, this is good here. Okay. So let's see. I think. Okay, I think we'll do it as this. We'll do it as a big swing. Since our opponent is tapped out, I might as well get the Archfiend down now before it's too late. Okay, so swing here. This is one of those awkward moments here because I want to swing with Rot Curse to kind of close it out, but we'll wait one turn. But hopefully with this much damage going at their face right now, we should be able to close it out at least in a turn and a half, hopefully. Out. Our opponent has no crabs? Okay, wow. They're very slow. It's like a very slow mill deck. But I mean, hey, that works in our favor. Okay. Oh, this should be so good right here. They're completely tapped out, so this definitely works in our favor. I think... Okay, I think this should work even with the Tormod script. At least I think so. Okay. Let's try. Okay, we have another Archfiend, which is great, so that hopefully should speed things up a bit. So here's how we do this. We swing. The K triggers. Massive, massive damage here. Okay, down to 5. Put this on the Malachor Rebirth. Alright. Our opponent, I'm sure, is going to try to pull out the Tormod script, but that's fine. Decay triggers. Rock Curse is also on the stack, so do they respond? They do. Okay. Annoying, but it's fine, because we still have lethal next turn, so our opponent literally has to mill us out this turn coming up. Either way, we at least got that Tormod script out of the way. And our opponent still has half of our deck to go through. But I think I think we got this one. This should be an easy win right here. Opponents? Nope, they had no answers. There we go. First win of the day, everybody. All right. Yeah. Demon swinging hard, maxing that damage, everybody. All right. I know it wasn't a flashy match, but definitely, if your opponent's not ready for demons, they can hit hard out of nowhere. But okay, I'll take that one. Victory for us. Let's go ahead and let's continue on. Let's feel this up. Hopefully we'll get actually some real good matches coming up here. All right, so while we're getting our next matchup, everybody, tell me, how is your weekend going so far? Hopefully you're having a great time wherever you're at, everybody. And of course, our schedule this week, not to say it's super early, but we are going to kind of have to mix it up a little bit. Some things are going to get rearranged, but don't worry. We'll have our full schedule like we normally do coming up soon. All right, so in the meantime, we'll talk about that in a bit. Yes, I've been dealing with a lot of mill decks recently. I don't know why. I guess mill's kind of back on the upswing again, but it's been kind of annoying because it's not the best deck to kind of test things out with. But I'm glad we got the win against the mill deck. All right, enough of me rambling. Let's see. Okay, so we got... All right. This should be okay. If we can get a turn 3 land, I think we can get out the Archfiend. Oh, okay. Opponent here's going to get super aggro with creatures here. All right. So, I think this is how we do this. We're going to have to wait a turn. The reason why I want to wait a turn is I want to put down the Archfiend's Vessel, but I want to make sure I can get it out as a bigger demon. Our opponent is playing mono red aggro? Goblins? A treasure deck? Who knows? Let me know, opponents. What do you got? Bring it on. Ooh, okay, so it is Gobbos? Little goblins? Oh man, if we only had a Wrath from the sideboard here, this actually would be really nice. But it's okay. I think we can get there with this. Okay, so here's how we do this. We'll play Swamp, and then Archfiend's Vessel. We'll pass. Okay. So, if our opponent gets cheeky here, we will block, and we can bring it back with the Malachor Rebirth. Okay. Skirk Prospector. Alright. Well, that is a choice. Now, do they... Okay. Do they ping it? Oh, okay, opponent, you fell for my trap. No choice, opponents. Unless they have removal. Okay. So, Archfiend's Vessel does its thing. Alright, so this is exactly what you want the card to do. There we go. Brings back. Exiling it. And now we got a big demon. Alright. Nice. And mono red, because as a mono red player, usually does not have a main answer to deal with something this big. So, alright. Here we go. No swings from our opponent there. So, we have stopped them dead in their tracks. And from here, we should have no problem controlling the board at this point. So, let's see. At this point, I'm going to hold on to our removal for a little bit longer. Nowhere to run should take out that Skirk Prospector, and we should be able to then slow down their game plan. But I'm also anticipating another bigger goblin coming out. Maybe, I don't know, a Krenko? Maybe. We'll see. Opponent now has to think very carefully here. Alright. I guess we'll just swing for now. Just put the pressure on them. That is true, though. Look out for Scorch Shot. Although, I'm not going to lie, I haven't seen too many Scorch Shots, but do people main deck that now? It was a card I talked about last year, and I was like, man, people are sleeping on Scorch Shot. But I guess finally it took everybody a year to catch up to what I made a statement about. Goblin Instigator. Okay. Making tokens, that's fine. If our opponent swings again, Infernal Vessel can just hold down the fort. Alright, block here. Alright, that's fine, opponent. And it comes back. Stronger than before. Now it's a demon. Alright. Oh man, if we get it. Oh, we got the Holy Annex. Ah, we got the Holy Annex. There we go. Everything looking good right now. Alright. And there we go. Our opponent has had enough. They saw our game plan there. Demon maxing everybody. Nice. Very nice there. Second victory in a row. Again, nothing crazy, but as you can see, once you start getting your big demons out, man, our opponent just has no answer for us. Oh man, that was good. That was good. That's exactly how you wanted it to go. Okay, we won't get too ahead of ourselves just yet. We're looking great. Only 2 wins so far, but I'll take them. So hopefully we can just continue on this. But once we get to a certain point, I will, of course, point out what are some of the issues that this deck may have. So I'm kind of formulating that now, but they'll make better sense once we get to that point, at least in a couple matches. Because I know, as much as I'm having fun with this, at some point I'm sure Arena will probably set us up with a match that kind of counters what we're trying to do. But we'll see. We'll see when we get there. Okay, in the meantime, alright, so... Alright... This can be a really good curve. If I can get a 3rd land, I could say the Malachur, but it might be tempting to just kind of put it down on the next turn, because I want to be able to curve perfectly in an Unholy Annex. So, let's see. Actually, we'll do it this way. Put a Swamp first. If they have creatures, I can put down a Momentum Breaker. Kuamo. Okay. Just mono red aggro. Alright. Momentum Breaker number 2. So, let's see. I guess we'll do it this way. Rot Curse. Big Demon. Hey, big boy. Big scary boy. Okay, opponent, what do you got? Eidolon. Ooh. That could be terrifying, but we can deal with that. So, Swamp number 2. Unholy Annex. Yes, we get a ping for 2, but that's okay. We'll get that life back now. So our demon kind of just sits out there and just gains his life. Perhaps the most powerful thing about this demon is just the perfect curve you get here. So we just literally just sit here, and then we'll just kind of start chipping away at their stuff. But at the same time, our opponent is going to hurt themselves quite a bit here. Although I guess they are kind of going off here. Oh, okay. Oh, Count on Luck. I like that card. We haven't had a chance to play with it, though. But, okay. Opponent swings. They're hurting themselves quite a bit here, but that might be in our favor. Really? They didn't want to swing? Oh. Okay. Warp maxing brought to you by Warhammer 40k Warp. Oh yeah, you've been definitely doing a lot of the Warhammer references today, Dense Planet. Definitely. I forget that I do have the Necron Warhammer precon. I've kind of been sitting on it, but at some point I do need to sleeve that up. At some point. Alright, alright. Before I get too ahead of myself here, let's kind of start thinning out their game plan here a bit. So, Momentum Breaker. We do get pinged, so this will hurt us for a little bit, but this is going to be a small price to pay. Opponents? Probably the Fanatical Firebrand's going to go bye-bye. Yep. Okay, in the meantime, Momentum Breaker. We get pinged again, so this does hurt, but that's okay. Opponent probably will get rid of the Burning Pit. Oh, okay. No swings from us. We want to keep our demon alive so we can just keep gaining life back and training them. So, you can see right here, again, the power of the Rot Curse Rakshasa is just sometimes just sitting on the battlefield. Doesn't get a chance to do much. Ooh. Ugh. That might be a problem for us. Down to 2. Okay. So, at this point... Okay. So, let's see. How do we do this here? Is there a way out of this? Hold on. I think I got it. We will... Okay. Decayed. On the stack. We'll go full control here. Down to 5. Activate one of these. Wait, hold on 1 second. Hold on. Or maybe we just unlock the ritual chamber. Oh, that's it. Actually, no. We want to get that life back. Maybe that might be better. Okay, up to 5. And then Malika Rebirth. We get ping. Oh, actually, no. Now I realize now with the Fire Emancipation, we actually couldn't have beat them. Never mind. It's okay, everybody. I couldn't do the math there. It's okay. I guess our opponent did get the sneaky win on us, so did we have fun with the match? It still kind of did. But I realize now, wait, Fire Emancipation, yeah, the math just didn't work out there. That's okay. That's okay, everybody. I was not expecting, honestly, for them to have that card, but okay. Even if I didn't swing, Rot Curse, you kind of see there, can't block. So, yeah, yikes, I got thrown off there. That's okay. It's not a big deal. We can definitely just bounce back from that. Okay, in the meantime, let's go ahead, let's get going our next matchup here in Best of 1. But again, a little bit later on, we will jump to Best of 3 for just a hot minute. And then we'll show you the upgraded version, which is actually, in paper, extremely expensive. But we'll talk about that in a bit. All right, so in the meantime, okay, so, this might be a bit slow. We do need the Unholy Annex to draw into action. Let's put out some Archfiend's Vessels. While we can't flip these immediately, they at least can help us kind of keep some stabilization with their life gain. Okay, so we got another Swamp, that's good. Archfiend's Vessel number 2. And Hopeless Nightmare. Make him discard a card. Now, all we need at this point is just one of our demons, and we should be good here. Okay. Opponents? Throwing away a land. Okay, that's fine. They'll take 2 damage. That's in our favor. That's good. So let's see. Okay, so they got Cavern of Souls. Triomes. Okay. All right, 2 Unholy Annexes. We'll play 1 right now. We'll take some life loss, but that's perfectly fine. We can get it back right now with the Archfiend's Vessel, so that's good. Down to 15. Go up to 23. Oh, Stickman Jake from YouTube side. Thanks again for joining us, my fire friend. Hopefully you're having a great day where you're at. You're just in the middle of us demon maxing here. We're trying to see if we can go off with some demons in Explorer. Opponent's got the Overlord out. Okay, well, that is a bit of a frightening card, but it's not the worst. So, let's see, how do we do this here? I guess we're just going to have to keep swinging here. The good news, of course, is our vessels here are life linkers, so they can keep us stable while we keep drawing more cards. In the meantime, however, let's get another card discarded out of their hand. But what are they playing? I know they're ramping. Their ramp, is it, what is it? Is it the Domain deck? Because it's pretty much Triomes. So, okay, Water Grave, okay. Draw another card, okay. Another Swamp, that's fine. Yes, nice. Opponents, what are you playing? Okay, it's the Zerd the Enchanter. Okay. I hate this deck, by the way. Every time I always play against it, I always end up losing. But we are close to going off here. We'll see if maybe we can. Okay, so down to 16, they go back up to 14. Ugh. Okay. Made both variants of Elspeth tokens, Boros and Orzhov. Both are good. Oh, don't worry. After the voting we went through this past couple days, I think the fans have spoken. I think some of y'all want to see me play, maybe for the next stream. How about this? Mono white Elspeth tokens, but some way, somehow, I managed to make it budget friendly. We'll see, though. We'll talk about that in a bit. Otherwise, let's see. Okay, how do we do this here? I guess we'll swing. Wait, hold on. Yeah. Does our opponent block? They don't. I'm pretty sure they kind of figured out what's going on here. So until then, we'll put down Ritual Chamber. Make a demon. Now we start draining them, so that's good. Oh, we got our Momentum Breakers. That's good, too. Yeah, I will definitely say, Elspeth tokens, incredibly powerful. Either way you build it, it's very strong. Is it standard or explore? Better be explore. Not gonna lie, apparently the votes from the channel actually want me to build a standard Elspeth tokens deck. I was a little surprised that that's what everybody wanted, but I mean, I'll go with what the votes wanted. So it might be standard, but don't worry, you can definitely play it still in explore. All right, we're a little behind right now, so we're gonna try to see if we can get around this. Momentum breaker. Force our opponent to lose a card. I'm sorry, lose a creature here. So they have to. Okay. So that helps us out a little bit there. In the meantime, oh, we can't make another demon just yet. All right, so let's see. Guess we're just gonna have to swing. So, up to level 2. Unlock. And pass. This is gonna hurt for a bit. More Unholy Animus. We don't need more of those. Okay, so we got the Nowhere to Run. I guess that's somewhat good. Might build Mardu or even Esper with Ashiok. I think Ashiok might be best with Esper. At least in my opinion. Opponent swings. Overlord hits us for 10. Ugh. This is gonna hurt. So we're going to have to start chump blocking for a bit. But if we could flip our Archfiend Vessel, that probably won't be too bad for us. Okay. Swamp. So, let's see. We unlock again. Make another demon. Okay, and I guess we're just going to have to hold off for here for a turn. Unless our opponent has more removal. They have the Fatal Push. So, it's annoying. But I guess we're just going to have to wait here. So that's fine. No attacks. Block. Oh, wait, hold on. Dang it, we lost, didn't we? Yeah. Oh, I guess I got too greedy there with the card draw, but that's okay, everybody. It happens. Happens to the best of us. So it is what it is. Okay. Like I said before, I have a hard time dealing with the Zerd the Enchanter deck. Just cannot find a way to get around that. That's okay. Either way, we'll just continue on. Not a big deal. I meant Elspeth with Ashiok that makes tokens on it. Oh, okay. You're trying to put both of them together. Okay. That's spicy. Hopefully that works out for you. Let me know how it goes. Okay. In the meantime, let's see. If our opponent here has creatures, and they do, okay. So this actually might be decent for us. So here's how we can do this one. Swamp. Archfiend's Vessel. Alright, so if we could do this correctly here, we can sacrifice the Vessel and take out their... Okay. Yeah, I see. I think we can pull this off here. Opponent is playing dual mid-range here. That's cool. Opponent swings. We lose it, but that's okay. We'll bring it back in a bit. Swamp here. Archfiend's Vessel. We will Final Vengeance away the Voltaic Brawler. Now, all we need at this point is one of our cheaper... enchantments, and we should be good here. That's one. It's more of a lore-themed deck, but it will not stop me. Okay. That's cool. Cunning Coyote. Never would have thought that this Coyote actually was going to be an effective aggro piece, but hey, here we are. Some way, somehow, it does work. We'll wait it out for a second here to see what our opponent swings with. We can then know where to run something, and then hopefully we should be able to then just chump block him here in a bit. Oh, okay. Here's how we do this. Sorry, opponent. Switch, you're down. So they fizzled that. We're down to 6, which is scary, but okay. We will make it back, everybody. Here's how we do this. We will back for seconds. We bargain. Get both of our vessels. Sacrifice nowhere to run. So this is what you want to do with this one. That exiles. We can Archfiend Vessel. Alright. Now we're okay. Or at least we should be okay now. Alloy Alchemist. Belt Collector gets pumped. But we have a big demon now. Cunning Coyote. Do they pump up Alloy Alchemist? Maybe. Okay. Wow. Okay. Super aggro from our opponent here. We'll take out the Pelt Collector. We will block here. Down to 2. Ugh. Okay. So, how do we... Is there any way out of this? Or did we lose? Dang. Well, we probably got out-aggroed here, so... If our opponent swings here... we can only chump block probably Alloy Alchemist. I can take out the other 2 creatures, but that's still not enough. If I play Unholy Annex, we go back up to 5. That's still not enough either. Okay. I think I'm going to have to do it where I'm going to have to see if our opponent calls our bluff. Probably won't work, but we'll try. We will try here. But if our opponent also has burn, we're definitely dead too. What you going to do, opponents? What are you going to do? Monastery Swift here. Oh. We might be dead. Kind of good. Yeah, we're dead. Dang. Wow. I guess I should try to go back to Gruul aggro, because we're getting aggroed here pretty hard. And the best thing I could do here is just take out the Alchemist, block a creature here, but it doesn't matter. Wow. Okay. Well, you can kind of now start seeing where the weakness of the deck comes in. Although we are very removal happy, if we don't get that removal against aggro decks like this, we end up fizzling pretty hard. But that's okay, though. That's okay. For those that are curious, I believe the deck right now is running a combination of 12 rares and mythics, and I believe it's $80 if you want to put this together in Explorer. For those of you that are curious about how much the deck is going to run you. Which is, I think that's actually not too bad for an Explorer / Pioneer deck. That's actually still budget, at least in my opinion. Sneaky Toilet. Oh, welcome my fiery friend. Thanks again for joining us today. Hopefully you're having a wonderful day wherever you're at. Hey yo. Hopefully you're having a great day. Yes, I am. We're doing some demon maxing in the Explorer format, and hopefully our mono black demons can get a couple more victories today. We did manage to get a couple of sweet ones here, but now we're kind of getting to that awkward moment where I feel like I'm getting matched up against decks that are not quite what we're expecting. Okay. Oh, sorry everybody. There's a little bit of spam from Kick. I don't know if I could try to get to it, but let me see if I can do that while I'm also trying to plan out this here. See. Okay, so we don't have a very aggro opening hand here. We're going to see if we can try to draw into what we need. We need a Succubi here to charm them, if you know what I mean. Yeah? You may be right about that. Oh boy. Spicy. Luminarch Aspirants. Okay. So our opponent is a mono white aggro deck? Looks like it. Alright. Opponent swinging. I don't know if we're going to be fast enough because it looks like now we're going to be throwing all the aggro decks at us and we're not getting any of our removal right now. So this is beyond awkward, by the way. I do apologize, everyone. But we'll try. We can only get to just our key removal pieces. And we have a ton of removal in this deck. So where is it? Oh, jeez. Alright. Well, looking clunky here. We're just going to have to take a big hit here. Alright. Ugh. Down to 11 already. Okay. We're getting all the lands in the world. Okay, Infernal Vessel. So this can at least sponge a hit, and will come back as a demon, so I guess that's nice. Oh. They get to protect themselves from 1 point of damage. That's annoying. Alright, well, either way, we have to still block a hit here, because we can't afford to take any more damage. Down to 6 already. But it does come back as a demon, so I guess that kind of works. Here's how we do this. Unholy Annex. Archfiend's Vessel. No attacks. Draw a card. They lose 2 life, we gain 2 life. So we're kind of stable, sort of. But we need to at least have 1 piece of spot. Jeez. Of course they run the Brutal Cathar. So I think that means that might be it for us. Again. Wow. Dang. I think at this point that might be our indicator to try to flip to best of 3. So we'll try in a bit here. And unfortunately, our demon, our human demon, can't really take the hits here. Take us down to 1. Ooh, okay. Well, not much else we can really do here. I can play Archfiend the Dross, but that's not enough. So we gain life. That's still not enough. Alright, fine, opponents. Dang, we're now getting all the aggro decks. In testing, I didn't deal with any aggro decks. My only struggles were against the control decks out there. So yeah. Alright, I guess you can see right now, super aggro decks kind of can mess with us a little bit if we don't get the removal. Okay, well either way, let's flip to a best of 3 version of this deck and let's kind of see how well it does. So, we're going to make an adjustment here. We will play our deck in Demon Max in best of 3. That's when it got 1.75 liter of Coke for a price of 99 cents here. That's actually a really good price. Not what I can say in the States, however. Us Americans pay a lot for that amount of liquid. Yeah, rough economy right now. But it is what it is. Speaking of rough economy, I will tell you right now, I've been super jazzed to try to finish a couple of other decks that I've been wanting to build for our next couple of deck techs over the next couple of weeks with Tarkir. But man, this set is the most taxing I have gone through in terms of trying to build things, because so many cards that I want to have, they're all mythics. So that's kind of where I'm at a point where I'm like, good lord, I do not want to have to spend... I don't want to have to spend actual real money again, I will say again, on getting mythic wild cards. Like, because seriously, $20 for 4 digital mythic cards? That's ridiculous. But I do need to finish some of our decks. So I'm going to have to delay a couple of decks that I want to build, at least for a couple of weeks. And hopefully maybe I can crack them in some packs. But man, this whole set has just been very expensive for me, even though I've got quite a bit of pieces from it. Any case, all right, so if our opponent is creature happy, this can be a good hand, although we are missing a land, but let's mulligan just to play it safe. Oh boy. Very land heavy, but I think I might have to keep this because I also don't want to screw ourselves over on land. Hopefully we should draw into some action here. Mausoleum Wonder. Oh, okay, so it's spirits. Okay, so we can deal with spirits if we can just out-tempo them. Sneaky toilet. What's with the 64 in your name? Oh, I mean, that is the handle that I have, and that was honestly where I started with when I put out my, the presence of my actual channel. So the 64, I mean, also, I'm going to say it right now, I'm an old person, by the way. But the 64 does represent, also because one of my favorite consoles, at least when I was growing up, I did play with a Nintendo 64. And originally, when I did my channel, when I first started my YouTube stuff and playing around with it, I was, at some point, going to consider trying to do a channel that focused on retro games. But that kind of fizzled out, and I kind of gave up on it for a while, so it's kind of where we're at now. But good question on that one. Okay, so in the meantime, I'm pretty sure this is going to get counterspelled, but we're going to throw it out there just now, just to see what our opponent's going to try to do. Oh, it does stick. Well, that's good. We can draw some more cards. All we just need to do is just get to a demon. And then hopefully we should be able to close out our opponent here. Spectral Sailor. Okay. But yeah. And I got to a point where once I finished adding all my socials, I was like, you know what? I'll just keep the 64 for everything. It keeps it consistent. Like, literally all of my socials here are all the same. So that's kind of nice for us. And then most people out there these days don't get that luxury because some people kind of claim randomly other names already. So it's kind of nice that it kind of worked out that way. That's Splendid. Also, my friend's Madness Steve is being filthy. We're trying to get Avacyn decks with 20 equal wraths, including cards that destroy lands on Discord. That sounds absolutely disgusting. Your friend is disgusting for doing that, but hilarious at the same time. Opponents? Do they draw a card? Maybe? Okay, there it is. That's what we waited for. Okay, nowhere to run. Let's... We're going to out-tempo the spirits. Usually when it comes to spirits, I know they tend to be very flash-heavy, so anything we can do to keep the board clear, which is good for us. Okay. Meantime, opponent's got 5 cards in hand, but so do we. We're down to 12, though. But hopefully we can be stable now. Mausoleum Wanderer. Sneaky Toilet. Oh, when you said I'm an old person, I was in disbelief that your birth year would have been like 1964. Oh, I'm not that old. But I was a 90s kid growing up. So let's just say right now, once we get to my birthday later this year, I'll of course let everyone know how old I am. So that probably makes sense as to why I ended up just picking Magic as my main game, if you will. Because Magic is kind of an old game. I was playing this as a kid, as a young teen also. But definitely, Magic's changed a lot since I started playing. Not that that's a bad thing. Alright, Rot Curse. Does this resolve? Opponents, do you have an answer with 3 cards in hand? Maybe? But they might have an answer. No more lies. Ugh, that is the worst counterspell we could have gotten. Because now we can't even use the Rot Curse to exile their shenanigans. So, dang, that's unfortunate, by the way. Alright, well, that means we're going to keep losing life for a bit, but we will draw cards. Rattle Chains. Okay. Opponents. I might have to crack that Momentum Breaker in a bit, just to kind of give us a little bit more life gain for stabilization. They better flash away. Yes, they do. But right now, they're running out of gas, so that's good for us. We got rid of one of their key pieces, Spectral Sailor, that draws cards. So hopefully that should mean we can then get by. Okay, in the meantime, how do we do this here? Let's play Archfiend with the draws. Okay, good. That does stick. So that's what we wanted. Down to 19. Starter Engines gets level 2. And now we can draw cards and not worry about the life loss. Sneaky Toilet. I'm a 90s kid too. But I started with Yu-Gi-Oh! I just don't like where Yu-Gi-Oh! Is anymore. Legit turn 1 kills. Oh, yeah. I tried playing Master Duel when it first came out. And at one point, I almost thought like, oh, maybe I can actually do Yu-Gi-Oh! Content on top of Magic content. But I'm just not happy with where the game turned out. Truth be told, I mean, I still have my... was able to thankfully build my old Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck in Master Duel. So it kind of gets me a win once in a while after losing maybe 10 matches. So I kind of stopped playing for a little bit. But yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now, it legit, for those of you that play Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now feels like I'm playing, if I was to play this demon deck in Vintage or a competitive Commander, which feels like I'm going to get destroyed literally in 1 turn. Speaking of turns, okay, let's go ahead, let's get this going here. So let's see, Swamp, Archfiend's Vessel. Okay, so the pressure at this point, we just need to apply to our opponent. At this point, we just got to start swinging as hard as possible. Oh, opponents. You sure you want to do that? Okay. We're going to Malachor Rebirth this sucker. Oh, man, I love this cheap little trick here. So when it dies, we'll take out the human. We lose a little bit of life, but that's a small price to pay. Because also we can drain them here too. Archfiend of the Droth goes off. It triggers. We get a demon back here. Alright, alright. Much, much better. Let's unlock the next level. Make another big demon. Draws the card. Alright. Now you all get to see how the deck does handle itself. Once you control the board like this, your opponent has nothing left to do. Victory. Okay. That felt really good. So, let's see. How do we do this? So, definitely Golden Demise is coming in. That card can destroy our opponents because most of their spirits are very weak. Let's see. What else do we want? I guess this is the Fatal Push matchup. So, let's see. What do we... Final Vengeance probably is too slow for this matchup because we want more instant speed nonsense. We'll trim down maybe 1 Momentum Breaker. Let's see here. I don't know if the back for seconds might be too slow here. Maybe we might have to cut those. Let's see. And then, cut 1 Unholy Annex. Let's see. What else can we do here? Well, they have more creatures, so I guess the Duress doesn't help us out that much here. Let's try to go with this. I think this should be okay. Let's try that out. Okay. So, faster removal, trimming down some of the more mana-heavy cards, and then making room for hopefully some stuff that should be able to out-momentum our opponent here. Okay, so this is the demon hand, which is nice. We start putting down a lot of pressure quickly if our opponent gets cheeky. Oh, there we go. We got the golden demise. Okay, so we're in a good spot. Even if we lose the rot curse, that's fine. We have now plenty of ways to remove things from our opponents. Unholy Annex will be great too. Let's actually swing first. Do they block? Most likely not. Go up to 21. Rot Curse. Any counterspell opponents? Do you have an answer? They do. No more lies, which is the worst counterspell for us to deal with, but that's fine. The idea right now is just to get their hand empty as fast as possible. Okay. Unholy Annex. Does this stick? Most likely not. Yep, Spell Queller. Alright. Annoying. Not the worst. We'll just wait. Bonus swings. Okay, so Spell Queller is going to be a problem for us. We're going to try our gosh darn hardest here to get around it. Down to 18. Does Archfiend of the Dross resolve? Please resolve. Ooh, it does. Okay. Well, I guess that's good for us. If we can somehow keep that alive and put pressure, we should be good. Sneaky toilet again. Sorry to leave you so soon, but I have work in a couple of hours, and I need to head to bed. Enjoy the rest of your stream, and good luck to you. Believe in the heart of the cards. Oh, yes.
It's time to do.
I don't know why. That's just my holdover that I just love. I just love playing that clip, by the way. But yeah, have a good day. Get some rest, and we'll see you again soon, my fiery friend. As always be sure to burn bright. Later. Okay, going back to the match here. So, is there a way out of this? Okay, we're going to have to start swinging here because our Archfiend dying will not help us here. Oh, they... Alright. Okay. We swing. Down to 17. They're probably hoping that we'll lose with our Archfiend of the Dross, but let's see if we can try to get around that. Okay. So, Golden Demise. I don't think this is going to resolve, but we're going to try. Opponent? Do you have an answer? Maybe. Let's see. Oh, the tension right here. Okay. Well, that's good. But we kind of messed up there, I realized, because I was expecting the counterspell. I realized, oh man, we could have gotten that. We honestly could have gotten another demon there, but oops. Once again, not the best player out there, everybody. It's okay. Someone's going to yell at me later on in the comments. Densman, it's 12:44 a.m. in my time, and I'm also editing a video as well. Ooh, what you putting together? Down to 19. Okay. Okay, down to 2 pips here. So we are getting a little bit closer to the end. And we might end up just kind of hurting ourselves out here. Hopeless Nightmare. Opponents. Okay, make them discard a card. Man, not getting that other demon kind of hurt us a lot there, but we're going to try to see if we can fight our way through this. Okay. Opponent blocks. Alright. They do lose life still, which is good. Down to 12, or I'm sorry, 11 now. Oh man, if we can only just get that... We can only get that Unholy Annex back. That would help us out a lot. Mausoleum Wanderer. Alright. Okay. Opponent swings here. Down to 17. Sacrifice the enchantment. I don't think we'll make it this one because they can keep chump blocking with their spirits, unless if I can get some removal going. Okay, another Archfiend is not going to help us out here because once the other one's gone, we die. So we need removal now. Like, now. Okay, down to the final oil, and... oh, jeez, we didn't get what we needed. Alright. Well, this is the downside of playing Archfiend the Dross. A very, very powerful card if you can get the damage through. But if you don't have another way to back it up, you lose. So we'll just quit there. All right, we're going to game 3 of this match. I think we more or less have what we need. I think I might actually just maybe put in a little bit more removal. Maybe we'll bring back the Momentum Breaker. Oh, the usual edits. Okay, that's cool. Let's see here. We want... let's see, what do we want to do here? Yep, my own demon got me, so... but that's, again, what you do when it comes to demons. You didn't take the risk. It happens. Happens to the best of us. It's okay. Let's see here. Maybe we can trim out... put in the go blank. And do that. It's okay. Not a big deal. Here we go. Round 3. Can we get there? Is this going to be the one where we can get the best of 3 win? If we can, we'll see if we can squeeze in one more best of 3 on the budget one, and then we'll go to the non-budget one in just a bit. Ooh, this is actually a really good curve here. This is kind of the curve you want to see. So, turn 1, Archfiend's Vessel. Rot Curse on turn 2. Unholy Annex, turn 3. And then an Archfiend, turn 4. But it all depends right here. If our opponent does not disrupt our game plan. Thankfully, though, we should be able to get out that Rot Curse. No problem. Mausoleum Wandered. Okay, that's fine. Swing here. Most likely they're not going to block. So we get our life. Rot Curse. Now, if we can just get into that Unholy Annex, we should be good to go here. Hopefully. Come on, opponents. Oh, they have the Akadar Waste. Alright. Alright, well, we're expecting now for sure they're going to cancel out that Unholy Annex. But that's okay. Swamp. Let's do it this way. We will swing here. They do block. Okay. Okay, so this is good for us. This is actually what we wanted. We lose the Archfiend, but that's okay. Unholy Annex should now come in. There we go. Get our card draw. Life gain and drain time. Okay. So now we have our engine piece on, which is great. Rot Curse can be brought back if we need to later on. We also have a Witch's Cottage, which is nice. Down to 22. Another Swamp, which is perfect. Okay, so in the meantime... Archfiend, now. Found it? Do you have an answer? Maybe? They do. No more lies. Annoying, but this is fine. So, no attacks yet. Just kind of, just keep getting free value there. Okay, in the meantime, we have a couple more clerics that we can flip into demons. At least, hopefully, once we get to a certain point. Shacklegeist is also annoying too, but we can just let Rot Curse just sit out and it'll be okay. Down to 21. Another Swamp. Let's unlock. Make it another big flying demon. There we go. Now we're feeling pretty good about this. Okay, so let's see here. I think now is the time to actually swing with our big demon here. Decay triggers, but that's okay. Witch's Cottage can bring it back if we need to. Down to 9. Or we can also make them lose all their creatures too. Fatal Push. That'll be helpful next turn. Rattle Chains. Ooh, okay. Well, okay. Our opponent wants to do that. That's fine. Opponents? Okay, they tapped it. Annoying, but that's fine. So, here's how we do this. With Rot Curse out in the graveyard, we should hopefully now be able to then just start... just kind of pseudo-wrath them. Or at least lock them out. So here's how we do this. Swamp down. We will Rot Curse. Let's see, that's 6, so... Wait, hold on. Oops. Messed it up there. Okay. Pay 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. So, this way, now we can put... Alright, they did have decay counters, so none of them can block at this point, which is great for us. We can just start swinging here, all willy-nilly. You have an answer, opponents? Oh, they had an Otawara. Wow. That's okay. We still have another Wrath here with Golden Demise. If our opponent swings, though, oh, they lose their creatures. They get the decayed. Opponent. So it's a slow, kind of weird Wrath, but it does work for us. Because now they lose all of their creatures. So this is the power of the Rot Curse, everybody. They now just lost their whole board. That gives us now a shot to come back. Okay, so in the meantime, how do we do this here? Hopeless Nightmare. Alright, make them lose cards. So, we're going to be now in a spot where we're going to try to see if we can get around the latest part of their plan here. Alright. But I think we got him. Okay, and then finally, Infernal Vessel. And then a Fatal Push here just on the back end. Ooh, they had a No More Lives. Wow. Okay. So with that, I guess now Witch's Cottage. Put the Vessel on top. And pass. Okay, down to 7. They're at 2. But we have now a Vessel, so I think we might be able to close this out. There we go. All right. Woo! That was a close one, but we got there, everybody. Victory for us. Yeah. All right. Demons cannot be stopped. Spirits were just not strong enough for us. Whew. Okay. Well, there you go, everybody. Even on a budget, you got to see at least a good example there of why the Rot Curse is such a good card. It is hard to utilize effectively, but you saw there, our opponent got really, really cheeky, but they just ended up wrathing themselves. However, the downside, of course, is they have to swing in order for you to kind of do their thing. But the good news is if you can put the decay counters, they can't block either. So you kind of have to kind of figure out briefly how to get value out of the card at the right time. So that's where the deck is fun, but it is definitely a tricky card to kind of work with. Okay. As we're hitting now the halfway point of the stream, as a friendly reminder to everybody, if you do like any of the content we do, if you're a fan of budget decks, you know what to do. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe wherever you watch the content so you don't miss on any of the gameplay, booster pack openings, live streams like right now, and so much more. But let's go ahead, let's talk about now what we can do if you want to upgrade the deck. Not going to lie though, this is a very expensive variant of the Demon Maxing deck, but it is pretty awesome. So, let's go over again what is going to be in this variant here. So for this version here, we're definitely going to get a lot more diversity with how the demons can pull off their wins. So in the main deck here, we'll throw in now some Fatal Pushes. We'll keep our Hopeless Nightmare to kind of keep with the theme. We're going to trim down our Malachor Rebirths to only 2 because we have some other creatures that can kind of bring themselves back. We're now going to main deck some Thoughtseize here to kind of strip away things that just we have a hard time dealing with. And in the 3-drop slot here, keep Momentum Breakers, keep your Nowhere to Runs, keep your Rot Curse, so that's all going to be effective. The 3-drop slot is where things get completely overhauled, so now instead we're going to have Unstoppable Slasher. Yes, I know, you've seen this card many times, but it is very effective and it is a solid upgrade for the deck. And then Liliana of the Veil. 2 of them just to kind of keep making our opponent discard cards, which we can then utilize later on for extra value. And then in the 4-drop slot, I know. Don't hate me for this, but Shieldred really is pretty good for the deck. So that's kind of where we're going. We still need some more demons, so we have also Bloodletter of Aklazaz. You've seen me play this card many times. Very powerful, very effective for what it is. Keep your Unholy Annexes so we can keep drawing cards. As far as the upgrades to the actual land base, we're now going to throw in some Castle Lockwains. We'll trim down our swamps to make room for Takenuma, Mad and Mire for milling. We can throw in some Mutavaults here so we can kind of... Technically, they're going to be considered demons in a pinch, so that's actually good for us. 2 Nykthos Trandoshanix, since we are kind of now merging into a territory that's kind of more like a mono black devotion deck. And then finally, to make sure all of our lands stay swamps, Urborg Tomb of Yawgmoth will be added in to make sure everything is consistent across the board. Now, as far as actual sideboard, same thing. It's going to be some small tweaks. We'll keep a couple of duresses if we want to just go more discarding. We'll keep in the extra fatal pushes so you can kind of mix and match what you need to in the second or third games. Keep your go blank here for more discard and graveyard hate. Speaking of extra graveyard hate here, we'll throw in now Graveyard Trespasser, a card that is very effective. I usually hate dealing with this card, but for our deck, it's good for us. Some Withering Torments are now going to be added in just because, again, this helps us just deal with creatures and enchantments. So at the same time, that's actually pretty effective for us. If we need to adjust our creature package a little bit, we'll have an extra copy of Bloodletter here and an extra copy of Shieldred. Our bigger Wrath is going to be now Ritual Soot, so we can utilize this instead just to blow up the whole board. Most of our creatures aren't affected by this, but the ones that are, we can just bring them back or utilize them for extra value later on. And then finally, if we trim down a couple of Unholy Annexes, we can also utilize Invoke Despair to kind of mess with our opponent here and just make sure they sacrifice a ton of stuff for a very small cost of only 5 mana. So that's now the upgraded version of the deck. Let's see if this version is better, or maybe it might be worse than what we currently have. But otherwise, if you do like, again, what we're playing today, do not worry. These also will be available to all of you once we then finish the stream. When the stream is over, I'll add in details to both the YouTube copy and the X copy to make sure that if you want to just copy the list down yourself, you should be able to do that no problem. So I'll throw that out there, of course, for all of you later today. Dying Spirits? Oh, yeah. Deader than dead. That's Spirits for you, everybody. At some point, I do need to kind of put together a Spirit deck. I've been wanting to do it for a while, but I kind of keep passing off on it. But we'll see if we can get around to that eventually. In the meantime, however, let's get to our match now with a much more upgraded version of Demons. All right, so we're not technically maxing, I guess, as much as before, but it's still pretty solid for a mid-range black deck. Let's keep this hand, however. This is pretty good. And then we'll start off with our Swamp, Hopeless Nightmare, and let the discarding begin. Gotcha, opponent. What are you throwing away? Show me what you got.
It's time to do.
Ooh, okay. So Elvish Mystic, so Elves? Ramp? Stompy? Who knows? That gives us an idea of what to anticipate here. Land War Elves. Alright. Well, with that, Castle Lockway. Momentum Breaker. Force them to lose their other elf. Alright, that's good. Okay, opponents. What else do you got? 6 cards in hand. Alright, land. So let's see, is it... Another Land Wars, okay. Alright, well, that's perfectly fine with us. Another Swamp. This time we'll play Liliana. We need to keep those elves off the field. So tick down.
More distractions.
Sorry, opponents.
Haven't you ever heard of
Too bad.
personal space?
Still not sure what they're playing. They might be playing... Oh, okay. Oh, okay, okay. So it's Selesnya Angels. Okay. Now I get what they're doing. All right. In the meantime, Urbo coming down. So now everything's in Swamp, which is good for us. Make our opponent discard. We will discard a land.
Don't overthink things.
Opponent. Unstoppable Slasher. So this should hopefully quickly drain out our opponent if they don't have an answer. Okay. Oh, we're going Farmland. There's the Collected Company. Ugh, what do they hit? Always a card that just messes with me. Oh, come on. Really? Ugh, they actually had the Skyclave. Dang. Really good hit. So we lose Liliana, which is annoying, but that's fine.
Be more annoying.
Curse Rashka. We will make them discard another card. At the very least, this should be able to hopefully set us up for the next turn or so. Opponents. We will... Hopeless Nightmare now. Okay. Unholy Annex. I guess that's good. Okay, so... If we can get down... I mean, let's see. Thinking right now. If we can get down the Unholy Annex, we should be good to go. However... we can then make them lose a couple creatures here. That might be helpful for us, but we'll see. We shall see what our opponent does. Down to 15. They're at 18.
With friends.
Okay, so... Unholy Annex. We pass. Draw a card. Double 2. Okay. Thoughtseize is not going to help us out here, but we'll try. See if we can get around this, because now they're going really wide here. A little too wide for my tastes, but we'll try. Man, if we had right now... Oh, jeez. Not the Righteous Valkyrie. Ugh, such an annoying card. Alright. What do you do, opponents? We don't have a main deck Wrath, unfortunately, so I might have to just sacrifice Momentum Breaker now. Just get a light back. Ugh. Okay. Well, at this point, I think we lost. Too slow. No attacks. We can gain and drain, but that's not enough for us because they have enough flyers, so... Once again, always Selesnya with their angels always gets me down. Man, every time. But of course, when we play angels, it's not this effective. Sometimes. Okay, not a big deal, everybody. We'll go ahead, let's continue on with our next one. Just keep playing with our maxed out version of demons. But I guess now it's technically more of a mid-range pile. I mean, it still kind of is trying to do its thing with demons. Don't get me wrong. Okay. Breathing in, breathing out. Okay, I'm just going to try this again here. 2 Rot Curse Rashkas. Some Momentum Breaker for disruption removal. Liliana can also be considered removal. And a Bloodletter. Slide a hand. So, is it an Is It build? Okay, we'll see. First Rashka. I realize I've been saying that wrong. So, Rakshasa. Rakshasa. Okay. You get what I'm saying. You know what I'm talking about, everybody. Opponents. 6 cards in hand. What do you got? Anything? Lightning Axe. Wow. Okay. Want to remove it, that's fine, I suppose. So, in the meantime, I guess we'll play another one. Can you deal with another one, opponent? Maybe. Yeah, I have another answer, right? Are you going to bounce that? Don't say you're going to bounce that, opponents. Wow, they actually bounced it. Okay. I mean, that's annoying, but it's fine. I guess that does lessen their hand of stuff. Artist talent. Okay. So, let's see here. Well, I guess now's the time to kind of play Liliana. Opponent. Unless you have another answer. Oh, come on. Ah, come on. No. Jeez. Absolutely disgusting. But it is it, so I guess it comes with the territory. Okay, in the meantime, opponents. They're looking at... Okay, so they're going to Treasure Cruise? That's what I'm guessing. Man, maybe we should have put down the Bloodletter first. That probably would have helped us ramp a little faster. It's okay, though. It's okay. It's okay, everybody. Okay. They go to level 2. All right. Well, I guess that kind of helps us out a little bit here. Swamp. Bloodletter. And we'll pass. So now at least we have a Fatal Push ready to go, and things kind of get a little bad. Okay, they shock themselves at 18. Opponents, 3 cards in hand. You can make your stuff cheaper now, which is, I guess, going to be effective for you, but we'll see if we can get around this. Okay, there's the Treasure Cruise, as expected. Still surprised this card is still allowed in the format. Honestly. I mean, what are your thoughts on that card? Should Treasure Cruise still stay in Explorer/Pioneer? Or do you think it's too powerful for the game? Or at least at this format? Let me know. Okay, opponents. Take the time to think here. Lightning Axe. Disgusting. I mean, alright. It's fine. We'll throw away a card. Alright. Well, okay, so I guess another ruling on is fine. Let
Those
us
who get in my way tend
play
to
the Rot
regret
Curse
it.
again. Make her 100 sacrifice. Throw away a Fatal Push.
We all have things
Nope.
we'd rather.
Get it out of here. Okay, so we have still a Momentum Breaker, which I'm kind of holding on to just for a little bit longer. But if they don't have any creatures, we can then make them discard, which is good. Okay, come on, opponents. What else you got? 3 cards in hand. Can't take too long to make a choice. Not that I'm being impatient, by the way. Anytime now, opponents. Force attack. Oh, okay, wow. Directly on Liliana, okay. Alright, so they did have the Temporal Trespass in hand. Okay. Anything else, opponents? 16. What's your last card? Opponent, don't keep me in suspense here. Gotta know. What you got? Oh, it's Treasure Cruise. Oh, jeez. Alright. Alright, well. Refueling. Did they get anything? Consider. Did they get the Phoenix? So it's in there for sure. But let's see. Can we get around the Phoenix? That's our biggest question right now. Slide a hand. Jeez, they're going off here. At some point, though, we will look into again an Is It build. I don't know if I want to do Phoenixes again, just because it's kind of boring at this point. I do kind of like what the deck does, but at the same time, its play pattern is kind of meh at this point. I don't know. What are your thoughts, everybody? Should we look at that? Should we make a budget version, or we should kind of just skip it? No, they got the Lightning Axe again. Opponents. All right, so here come the Phoenixes. 1, 2, 3. So they hit Liliana for sure. Down to 14. I kind of wish that our actual... Okay. We will exile Rot Curse. And then let's see if we can do this. Okay, wait. 6. Oh, wait, no. Hold on. We can actually do more than that. Hold on. Hold on. We can do this. 2, 3. So we exile 1. They have decay counters. So at the very least for now, if they swing for another turn, they do die. Which kind of forces them to then kind of start up again their whole cycle. I don't know if we can get around this, though. Sorry, I was thinking really hard about how to do this work. Okay, come on, opponents. What you got? 2 cards in hand. I swear, if they have another Treasure Cruise, I'm going to puke right now. Oh, jeez. Come on. No. God, this deck does not run out of fuel. Absolutely annoying, by the way. Absolutely annoying. Ugh. 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 Okay, so now they got the profs. So that means they get the pump. Once they get all of their stupid spells in hand. Alright. Come on, opponent. Just finish this up already. Note to self, I will try to see if I can come up with some more sound effects that might help at least kind of convey my disgust right now. Artist talent, going off again with the galvanic iteration. Not that you need to. Yeah. I used to like Phoenix a lot, and I kind of just got over it. It just, I don't know. It just feels kind of meh to me now. It's gotten really, really good. A little too good, in my opinion. Damn. Just when I thought I kind of had them at least under control for a bit, we just couldn't get there. The deck just has so much fuel. It's just tough. But okay, that's fine. Let's continue on, and we'll see if we can get some more wins with this deck. So far, the upgraded one doesn't feel as fun as the budget one, but maybe that's just my personal opinion just because of how I feel. I mean, it's an enjoyable deck, but But I don't know if I would want to spend actually, like if I was to start this from nothing, I probably want to spend, I think this deck is like $500 in actual paper. I think it's like 40 rares in Arena. Ugh, I really would not recommend to all y'all, unless you can afford it, if you really want to. But until then, rather than, oh, Leyline of Resident, oh. Ew. That means our opponent's going to try to play something dirty here. So, this is again where now the Thoughtseize comes into play. Opponents? Alright, so with that, we will throw away Heartfire Hero. Sorry, opponent. No mice for you. No, no, no. Alright. Nykthos. Play Hopeless Nightmare. Make them throw away a card. Most likely it's going to be a land, but that's fine. Slowing them down is all we need to do now. Okay, down to 18. Wow, they throw out the Calistel Sword. Okay. That's a choice. Heartfire Hero. Okay, so they do have it in hand. Oh, okay, so we got the Nowhere to Run, which is good. Nykthos. Okay, so here's how we do this. We're going to have to wait for a moment here. Hold. Okay. Opponents. So we just need to fizzle the mouse and we should be solid here. This is also the reason why for this deck I packed into the main deck a ton of removal for decks like this. Okay, down to 17. Opponents. Do they do it? Ooh, they have another Leyline of Resident. Alright. Well, sorry opponent. You tapped out at the wrong time. Your mouse does nothing. Nothing. Okay, so this is now good. For this, the bane of Mono Red's existence. Shielded, everybody. Literally, that's the reason why we have it in the deck. Alright, opponents. Even if you get your card draw going, you get punished so hard for this. Man. I feel kind of dirty for playing a Shielded, but our opponent is playing Mice, so you know what? Hey, what comes around, goes around. Gain that life back. Thank you so much. And, okay, let's do this here. Alright. Let's make our mana. Liliana coming down now. Make our opponent discard. Now, if they respond right here, this is, again, where I also get really gnarly here. Nowhere to run. Sorry, opponent. Denied. Your deck fizzles. Take that, mice. Yeah. I mean, sure. That's, there's still kind of triggers for a moment there, which is annoying, but that's okay. We cleaned out their whole hand, so that's what we wanted to do. So, there we go. It's completely fizzled.
Off you go.
And there you go, everybody. That's how you beat down the mice deck. Shame on you, opponent, for playing mice. You made me pull out Shieldred. You made me. Realistically, though, that was the reason why those upgrades actually help out there. Oh, man. Taking down mice. That's what I wanted to see today. All right. That deserves the victory. Okay. I'll probably have to highlight that one in the future, but there we go. Wow. The mice deck is still a threat to everyone out there. Don't get me wrong. I do like mono-red aggro decks, but mice right now is just kind of disgusting. Even for me as a primarily mono-red player. All right, so let's see. Okay, how much time we got in there? Okay, so according to what I see right here on the time frame, we're looking at maybe probably about 35 more minutes on the stream, everybody. Just giving everybody a friendly FYI in terms of the time frame here. As much as I, of course, enjoy streaming with all y'all, as always, there's always kind of like a frame of reference as to how much longer we do this. But okay, we're looking pretty good here. We still have plenty more time for unless a couple more matches. Maybe like 1 or 2 more best of ones, and we'll jump to best of 3 to round out the final part of the stream. But until then, opponent's going to be on the actual play first, and we'll be on the draw. But a turn 1 Thoughtseize for us is going to be good. Ooh, they mulligan. That's good. Land of War Elves. This could be devastating if we can pull this off. All right, let's get a peeky peek at our opponents. What you got, opponents? Okay. All right, so throw away the Trailblazer. So now their ramp is gone for now. Opponent swings. So we have plenty of time now to hopefully just beat them down here. Rot Curse. Opponents. Land of Warriors number 2. Nothing. Okay. We will play Liliana. There we go. Take the discard. Another deck that has a lot of dirty stuff in it, but that's okay. We'll throw away a Rock Curse this time because we can then pseudo Wrath their board. So, opponents. What will you do? Uvenwald, okay. Scary. Wow, they actually did not do anything with that. Okay, well, that's fine. So here's how we do this. Make them discard, or I'm sorry, make them sacrifice. We'll sacrifice the Land of War Elves, most likely. If they sacrifice the Uvenwald, that's actually better for us. Opponents? Ooh, they do get rid of one. Okay, well, that's fine for us. Shield are coming down. No attacks just yet. Opponents? Now they definitely cannot swing at all. Ooh, Kiora. Okay, so we got to deal with the Kiora now. They untap, but they can't really do anything. So, in the meantime, gain that life back. Make our opponent discard.
Drop it.
We will throw away a swamp. Okay. Now I think we're in a good spot here. Okay, in the meantime, just start getting all that free damage. Thank you, opponents. They're a ways away from doing anything at this point. So, yeah. We should be good here. And there you go, everybody. Taking down the Leyline. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting, by the way. I also hate this deck, too. But some way, somehow, we managed to just strip them of everything. Take that, Leyline. Your little cheap tricks are not going to get us this time. All right, all right, all right. So there we go, everybody. Another victory for us there. Beating out the Mono Green Devotion. Disgusting pile of whatever I want to call that. I don't even know. Honestly, I don't know. But okay. Deck feels pretty good still. We'll do one more in best of 1, and then I think we'll jump for the remainder of the stream onto best of 3. But so far, hopefully you're enjoying the content, everybody. Hopefully you're having fun seeing how the deck runs itself. I'm actually enjoying this deck quite a bit, by the way. But what are your thoughts so far on the deck overall? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you like the budget version? Are you a fan of the non-budget version we did? It's not the most creative one, but I'm still enjoying it for what it is. Okay. Sorry, I'm stretching myself out right here. The Slither Fireball probably should be stretching more often or not when it comes to my life decisions. Ooh, boy, okay. Feeling pretty good here. Hopefully we can just round this out with some more victories here. And we should be able to then just end on a good note. Okay. So. Alright, so we got another turn 1 Thoughtseize, which is always a nice thing to have as a mono black deck. And let's see here. Opponent does do some mulliganing, which as always, that's really good for us. Another Heartfire hero deck. Alright, that's fine. We can deal with this. Let's get a peeky what they got. Let's see. I think we're going to have to deal with the Manifold Mouse probably first. We can't have them start doubling up stuff quick. Now, if we can just get some removal, this should be solid. Come on, deck. Give me some removal. Okay. Not the removal I wanted, but that's okay. Put down the Swamp. Dang, if we only had a turn 2 removal spell, that would have been great for us. Emberheart Challenger. Alright. Dance Lennet, let me tell you, timing everything is so daunting. Yeah, I would agree with you, but what are you referring to specifically, out of curiosity? Let's see. Unstoppable Slasher. This can sponge a hit. So let's see. Will our opponent swing with a Slasher out? I don't think they have any actual spot removal, but they have Boros colors, so anything could happen right now. But as long as they don't have Double Strike, we should be able to then just hard stop them right here. Ooh, Ancestral Anger, okay. Might be a little scary here for a second here, but that's okay. We can just sponge the hit if we have to. Nothing? Okay, they are swinging. So we will take out at least one mouse. Down to 12. Alright. Malachor Rebirth. That's fine. Another Swamp. Liliana coming down. So, let us
But I'm taking the credit when we win.
make them lose a Heartfire.
I've always hated queens.
At the very least, this also means that they will have to spend a turn taking out Liliana there. So we'll see. Can we get around that? Is there a way around? 4 cards in hand, opponents. We know you have a Screaming Nemesis in hand, which, again, I like the card. I just don't want to deal with that life loss right now. What's the opponent going to play? So he does play the Screaming Nemesis. All right, that's fair. Swinging away. Maybe. Okay. 3 to our face. 1 to Liliana. Down 8. Okay.
Fine. I'll
Okay.
take my zombies and leave.
Opponent. Nothing else. Okay. Takenuma. So with that, Mutavault. Unstoppable Slasher. Okay. And here we go. Okay. Dense Planet. Timing a clip on the beat of a music. It's like millisecond difference that can cost you hours of editing. Yeah. One thing I have learned in the world of editing, because also I took editing classes with graphic design back in college, way back in the day when I was a young buck, if you will. But back in the day, I learned very quickly how important it is to make sure to try to match up your timing with anything you're editing. Sometimes even if you're off by a millisecond or two, some people can tell the difference, believe it or not, despite the fact that it may seem a little, doesn't seem like it's a big deal, but it does happen. So we're going to use the Mutavault here and the Slasher here. Okay. So we got rid of 2 more creatures, but we do take 4 points of damage. They hit us to our face so we cannot life gain for the rest of the game. But that's fine. As long as we just kind of keep them under control, we should be okay. But yeah, editing is not as easy as some people may think it is. I could definitely vouch for that. Okay, and then swing here. Put some pressure on our opponent here. Down to 18. Drain him again, down to 9. Okay, so if our opponent has another option here, because honestly, I'm going to be real, I think they have the win. Even if we didn't swing, if they have creatures like this, they definitely can swing around us. Corey Steelcutter. This is a card I need to play with. I have yet to actually play with this card. I haven't had a chance to actually play with the card just yet. Okay, so with that, I think that might be it for us here. Dang. Yep, so they'll probably put the double strike on there. They'll swing. We cannot block, so we lose. It's okay, though. Not a big deal, everybody. It's all good. But I still cannot get out of the pit of eternal hell that is Platinum 4. Just stuck here this whole time. Last time we did really good and we got to Diamond, but this time around, I could not get out of Platinum 4. I don't know what is causing it. Maybe it's just I'm not playing the better decks. I don't know. Anybody actually gotten out of this tier yet? Let me know how you managed to get out of that by some miracle, because I can't do it today. In any case, let's now play on best of 3 for the remainder, and we'll see how well we do here. I think this deck probably does feel better in best of 3 versus best of 1, at least from my initial opinions. Dense Planet. I didn't take classes, by the way. I'm usually by myself. Yeah. I mean, at this point, when I took classes for editing, by comparison, Dense Planet, that was, oh God, I don't like saying it too much, but it was 20 years ago, by the way. So yeah, I was in college 20 years ago when the classes were a thing, but that's honestly in a different era. Your era now, Dense Planet, along with most of the other people out there, there's resources all over the internet right now, so you really don't need to take any classes anymore on graphic design or video editing and stuff. That's all out there on YouTube right now as I speak. So if anything, you're in a really good spot to kind of learn a lot of this stuff as you go, just because the resources are free. Whereas me, I'm still finishing up the rest of my student loans. Ugh. Student loans. Americans out there, try to avoid student loans as much as possible. Most of what you can learn nowadays is definitely available on the internet for you for practically nothing. So in my opinion, that's not to say don't go to college, But just make sure you're going to college for the right reason. I guess I'll put it that way. Okay. Life lessons from, I guess you could say, Papa Infernoman here. There you go. In any case, before I kind of ramble on some more, let's see. I think we'll put away one Thoughtseize, and we'll just go from there. This is a pretty good curve if we can just get some more lands. Oh, yeah. The ELO hell. Anytime you play a ranked game, the game always just feels like it just kind of sticks you somewhere and kind of forces you to stay there for a while. Ooh, Layla into the Void. That might be a problem, but not too much of a problem for us. But we'll see. So we throw away our Thoughtseize, so dang, our opponent here kind of making us do this the hard way. But they're only at, they had the mulligan too, so maybe this might be, oh, okay, so it's a discard deck. Okay. Well, 2 can play that game, opponents. We'll put down our momentum breaker to force them to discard. So they do lose at least 1 piece. That might help us out a little bit here. Alright, so they did lose the go blank. Does that mean they have another one? Another duress. Well, that doesn't hurt us. Gotcha, opponent. We're all creatures now. Alright. Unstoppable Slasher coming down. If they have removal, then that means we will lose this forever, but we'll try. Opponents. Children's team. Alright. Ouch. That kind of hurt. Bloodletter. I suppose we could have put down the other Unstoppable Slasher, but it's fine. If they have removal, they're going to have to do it now. Ooh, waste on number 2. So that means they don't have the removal in hand. Duress. Sorry, opponents. I got you still. Okay. Nick those, which is good. Okay, we're going to do it this way. Unstoppable Slasher. We turn on the Mutavault. Swing here. Big damage. Down to 12. All right, opponent, you got 1 turn to finish this. If you cannot do it, we get the victory here. Although I kind of should feel bad because our opponent, I realize, is bronze. Wait, why are we playing against a bronze player? Were they ranking up fast? I guess so, but okay. I mean, yay. Did feel kind of dirty, though, but that's okay. All right, we drained him for that much, and victory for us. Okay, so yeah, I mean, our opponent's a bronze player. I don't know if I feel good about that, though. I shouldn't feel bad because, you know, we're all playing ranked, so it is what it is. But okay. So our opponent is playing a lot of... They're not playing that many creatures. So in that case, then, I think... How do I do this here? I think we'll do it this way. We will play the other Shieldred, keep the Bloodletter, keep them both. Withering Torments can come in. 2 can play at this game, opponents. 2 can definitely play at this game. Okay, so in that case, then, we probably don't even need the Rot Curse Rashikas for this one. Okay, we'll actually keep 2. Oh, wait, No Order Run doesn't really help us here, so we'll take that away. The Graveyard Trespasser is probably going to come in for this one. Okay, this should be fine. Okay, so our opponent's not playing that many creatures. We're going to throw in a little bit more creature shenanigans here. Take out the stuff that doesn't really help us with the removal, and then we'll throw in a package that makes them discard a little bit more. Let's see. Can we do this? Opponent, turn 1. Do you have it? They have the Duress. Annoying, but that's okay. Okay, it's fine. Opponents, bring it on. Come on.
It's time to
Duel. Hopeless Nightmare. Okay. Annoying, but it's fine. We'll throw away Bloodletter. Swamp. Momentum Breaker. This is literally a game of attrition now, everybody. We're just literally just slugging each other back and forth by discarding cards. Who, however, will get to discard the most first? Deep Cavern Bat. Okay. Well, it depends on what our opponent gets here. Can determine if we actually can pull this off. Oh, they did take the Liliana. That's fine. Mutavault comes down. Make them lose the remaining cards. That's good. So just some lands. Okay. Okay, so now all we have to do is just find a way to... Okay. Just see if we can just beat out a bat. Anything we can at least get on the field will help us out. They will swing. Down to 17, they go up to 19. Momentum breaker. There we go. That's what we wanted. Okay. So now we're set. They lose their bats. I commend your opponent for trying, but I'm sorry to say, our deck is literally stacked. 19. Engine. We're at number 2. Ooh, okay. They still got a little bit more in the tank here. Opponents. Level 2. There we go. As expected. We get drained here, but that's perfectly fine. Because Shielder now comes down. Opponent, unless if you have some other removal in hand, I think we might be able to get them here. But again, they're... Ooh, okay. Edict. Alright. Opponent is not giving up. I'll give him that. I'll give you that, opponents. You are not giving up. Okay, we lose 2. 2 Hopeless Nightmares. Make our opponent here discard. Okay, so that was a Leyline of the Void. That's fine. We'll turn on our Mutavault to swing. Down to 13. Okay. So, wow. Literally throwing out everything here just to beat down our opponents. We get drained again for 2. Hopeless Nightmare. Ooh, boy. Again, our opponent found a way to get around us here to a degree, so yeah. They force us now to have like practically no cards in hand. They waste... Wow, they just wasted it just because. Okay, I mean, that's fine. We get to go up to level 4, which is still good for us. Turn on our Mutavault. Just keep pushing damage on them. Down to 9. Okay, I guess this might be an easy win for us. But our opponent is not dead, so I guess that's good for them. Opponents? Oh, do they actually have it? Wow, they have the Fatal Push. Oh, maybe I should have Thoughtseize first. That was kind of my mistake. Okay. So with that, we will nick those here. And then sacrifice an enchantment. Opponents. Let's see. We'll put these 2 swamps away. Oh, MTG Hillbilly. Thanks again for stopping by, my fiery friend. Hopefully you're having a wonderful day wherever you're at. We're literally right now into a battle of attrition here. Literally this cute little bronze player has honestly not given up. It's still neck and neck. It could be anybody's race right now. Okay, our Shieldred, number 2. Is this enough? Drain him down to 7. Okay. Opponent, Bandit's Talent, okay. So they throw away our other Thoughtseize. So, I didn't want to play the Thoughtseize also because I don't want to lose too much life. Because we're down to 3. Oh, okay, we got the Graveyard Trespasser, that's good. Down to 3. And then, sorry opponents, but I think this cinches it here. Graveyard Trespasser. And then we need to eat the Deep Cavern Bat. Gain some life. Gain some life with Momentum Breaker. That's exactly the reason why we have it. Back up to 10. And I think that is game. There we go, everybody. Locking out our opponent there with another victory. All right. Yeah. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, so for the finale part right here, let's go ahead. Let's do some best of 3. We'll continue going on with that. I think we might have time for maybe... Ooh, did we get a Mythic? Nice, we got a free Overlord here. I'll take that. Very good. I actually never really played with the Overlord or the Hauntwoods. Maybe I'll do that in the future as like a future deck. Any case, so we're going to play the remainder with another best of 3 ranked. Depending on how long it takes, this might be the final one for today. We'll see. Yeah, it was. I do commend our opponent there. They didn't have the most powerful deck, but hey, they hung in there pretty well. All right, so looking at the clock right now, we are kind of going to be winding down soon, everybody. But thank you, as always, everyone. I appreciate all of your support. If you want to support the channel any further than this, as always, again, I don't expect this, But if you're willing to, we do have a Patreon that is set up, so I put up all of my extra bonus footage there. Nothing super crazy, but again, just sometimes ideas that sometimes don't get made in the deck techs. Extra bonus footage from some of my unedited YouTube stuff that just end up dumping on there. So if you kind of get to see like where my thought process is on what I build, that's all up there. $3 a month is all I ask for the lowest tier. Anything higher than that, and mostly it's going to be just where you can personally request whatever kinds of decks you want me to build, and I will make those decks work. You also get shoutouts, of course, for the stuff that we do in every one of my YouTube videos if you do support that way. But even if you don't, the thing you can do for free is just join the Discord, and of course, like, follow, and subscribe, as I mentioned earlier, if you want to support me, and then any of that also helps me ensure that we can keep this channel growing. Okay, but until then, let's see. Okay, so we got Thoughtseizes here, the Rock Curse. Okay, this is a pretty good curve. We can just get to everything else. All right, let's get this going. Sneaky peek out of what our opponents got. What do you got, opponents? Oh, they got the Unstoppable Slasher too. All right, all right. So, take away the Go for the Throat. So now they don't really have any kind of removal for now, which is good. That's a Walkwane. Rock Curse. All right, opponent, bring it on.
It's time.
It's
to
time.
do.
Yeah. Okay, Temple of Malady. They doing some scrying. Oh, okay. So this helps us out for a little bit. We'll put the Nykthos down first. Okay, so in the meantime, Unstoppable Slasher. No attacks just yet. If we can get to that Unholy Annex, we should be solid here. The Urborg kind of helps out our opponent a little bit. So this is one of the downsides about this card, but it is meant to help us out a bit. So here's how we do this. Let's get a peeky peek at what our opponent's got. I don't want them taking out our stuff just yet. So Tail Swipe goes bye-bye. And let's see. How do we do this here? I guess we swing with the Unstoppable Slasher. They're going to have to block with theirs. They do. Okay. So both Slashers go bye-bye. And they both come back. All right. What else we got, opponents? What else do you got? Another land. Tapping it down. Slasher number 2. Okay. Another Rot Curse, which we don't need, but I suppose it does help out a little bit. So here's how we do this. We swing with 1. It gets decayed. Do they block? Opponent? They take the damage to 15. Okay. So, I actually, now that I think about this, how does this work? If the Rock Curse can put decayed counters, does that trigger before? Okay, but actually that doesn't help us out. Oh wait, no, if it does have counters on it. Okay, hold on. I think this works. I think so. Let me try this. If this costs me, it costs me. I think because the wording on the card says if it has no counters on it. So in theory, the way I'm thinking of this is it should mean that if it has those decayed counters, it can't come back again. We'll find out right here. I should be right. I should be right, right? Okay. So yeah. Okay, there we go. That we found a way to get around the Unstoppable Slasher there. There we go. Perfect. In the meantime, let's see how we do this. Shieldred. We don't need her on because I don't want to sacrifice Shieldred, but we're gonna have no choice here. Or maybe I actually should have put on the other Slasher. Maybe that was my mistake. Okay. Either way. Either way. Phyrexian Obliterator. Oh. Ew. Okay. So we don't have a choice here. We're going to have to... Let's see. Okay. We'll just take the damage. Down to 5. We go down to 2. But we go back up 2. Okay. So here's how we do this. Actually... I want to make sure we get the most amount of mana out of this. Okay, so... Hit 3. Okay. Put it on both of them. Okay, wow, this is actually kind of hard here. Let's swing with the slasher. What do? They let me have it. Down to 5. Oh, I'm dumb. I realize now I probably could have swung with everything. Oh boy, I just gave away the match there. Well, that was my mistake. I totally forget that the decayed counters mean that they cannot block. So, I just gave our opponent the match there, didn't I? Yikes. Well, not the best player in the world, everybody, but it is what it is. I could have honestly won right there. Alright, well, chalk it up to mistakes made. Okay, that's fine. We can turn this on. Okay, so with that... block here, block here. Yeah. Down to 2. I guess we sacrifice 4. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. So they do lose that. Wait. Oh, they do gain life. Okay. Kind of figured. Okay, so at this point, I can't really do anything unless if I get another card. So this is kind of awkward. All right. Opponents. If they turn on Restless Cottage, then... oh, dang. Okay. Yep. So, they beat us there. Yeah, I made a mistake there pretty harshly, so that costed me the match there. I should have won that one. I don't know what I was thinking, but it's okay. It's okay. So, our opponent is also playing their own shenanigans here. Let us see what we can do to get around it. I don't know if the Unholy Annex are going to help us out. That might be too slow. I just want to keep their stuff off the field. We did find out this is actually where the Rot Curse is great for us. Putting those decayed counters on the Unstoppable Slasher means that you can pretty much get rid of it for the rest of the game. So that's actually nice to know for us. I guess this will be the Go Blank match. The Fatal Pushes can come in if we do lose stuff. Let's see. Probably don't need the Bloodletter as badly. We'll put in this other Shieldred. And then let's see. What else do we want? What else do we want here? I guess the Withering Torment, since that's hard removal. And then with that one... let's see here. Nowhere to the Run might help us out still. Probably trim 1 Hopeless Nightmare? I think so. Okay. I think this should be okay here. Alright, let's see. Round 2 of this match. We'll see. Can we get there? Whew, okay. Game face time. Let's see. Can we pull this off? Okay. We can't pull this off what we have. Okay. That's okay. Mulligan. Alright. I think we should be fine with this one. So with this, put away the Bloodletter. We'll put down the Swamp. Hopeless Nightmare. I don't know. We did strip away, which would have been a great turn 1 Thoughtseize if we only just had a Swamp. That would have been helpful for us. But that's okay. We're still going to make it work, everybody. Still going to make it work. Opponents. Thinking. Maybe. Come on, opponents. Okay, they throw away the Maelstrom Pulse. Maladay. 2 Fatal Pushes. That might be helpful for later. If they play any creatures that we can just Fatal Push away, that should be okay. Mosswood Dread Knight, okay. Draw a card. Swamp. Unstoppable Slasher. If they have removal, they're going to start using it now. Opponents. Mosswood Dread Knight coming down. Okay. So, with this. Dread Knight down. Let's get out of the way to put pressure on them. Down to 15. Down to 7. Okay. Looking good. But we just need to make sure we can actually close this out. Opponent. Down to 7. We're at 20 still, so we are looking still pretty good. If our opponent does not play... Okay, they're probably going to wait for the removal on their turn. Or maybe I should say our turn. Okay. Hopeless Nightmare. Opponent. Okay. Discard. And lose 2. Down to 5. Oh, maybe I actually should have waited for that one too. Okay. I don't know. I'm making a lot of fumbles, everybody, but we'll see. Go for the throat. Okay. Comes back. Anything else, opponents? More removal? Oh yeah, they definitely want it gone. Okay. 2 removal spells on 1 creature is fine with us. That does mean that's less for us to worry about later on. Underground Mortuary. Alright, come on. So close to a victory here. Can we pull this off? Rot Curse. Alright. Let's see. How do we want to do this here? I guess if we put the Rot Curse out there, that forces them into a bad spot. We still have Fatal Push open. Phyrexian Obliterator. Okay. Well, that is a threat, but we can deal with that. Ooh, Tail Swipe. Oh. Ugh, that hurts us a lot. Alright. Fatal Push away the Obliterator. Okay. We lose our whole board, by the way. But we do get to scry a little bit, so at least we can set up our next turns here, sort of. We'll have to put away the Momentum Breaker. Oh, painful, by the way. Okay, so we have some lands. Sort of. Swamp down, so we can rebuild. Can we rebuild to fight back? Slasher. Okay. Last land, okay. Okay. I think we... yeah, I think we misplayed this match completely, because I realized there was a bunch of stuff I probably could have done in hindsight, but we didn't do it. So, yeah, I probably should have Fatal Pushed away my own Rot Curse just to keep from that Phyrexian Obliterator from beating us. That's okay. Not the best at this, everybody. But okay. Okay. Dang. We lost. There's nothing I could really do here because I made too many misplays on that one. Yeah. I'm going to get yelled at for this. I made so many bad plays on that one. What we should have done earlier was just... I should have actually, in hindsight now, Fatal Pushed away the Rot Curse. That would have fizzled. Phyrexian Obliterator would have lost the next turn to the Liliana, and we probably could have at least stabilized there. Yeah. Not the best at this, everybody. This is why I'm not a competitive player. I'm just not that well in tune with this. But okay. You know what? I'm feeling it. Let's try one more. I think we can squeeze in maybe one more today. Let's try that. We will try on best of 1. Win or lose. This will be the final one for today, everyone. I swear. Okay. So I think, yeah, we have just enough time where we can squeeze this in, and then we'll see from there. But hopefully we can get at least a nice win to round out today's stream today. Once we're done here, we'll then kind of cover a little bit more of the deck in depth, talk about it overall, and then we'll see just how we feel about it overall. I do like the deck. I will say that right now initially. But there's definitely some stuff that we probably could do better on. Let's go ahead. Let's keep this hand. Got the Fatal Pushes, the Rot Curse. Play a Swamp. And what do you got, opponents? Overlord. Okay. So, wait. Are we dealing with... Okay, so we're dealing with some Reanimator shenanigans, by the way. All right. Let's see. Another Swamp. Rot Curse. Okay. It's going to be a shaky one. Fatal Push. Okay. Annoying, but that's okay. Slasher. All right. Let's try the Slasher. You have an option, opponent. Anything? Oh, come on. Jeez. All right. Well, now it's tapped, so we can't do it for a turn, but we'll see. Did our opponent get Ride of the Maw? Alright. Yeah. Okay. See what you're doing it there, opponent. Let's see. Sacrifice 3 non-land permanent. Ugh. I can't even, like, target this. Okay. Like, there's not really much of anything I could do against this. We could make them throw away their last card, but that doesn't really help us at all. Okay. I cannot really do anything here, can I? I mean, our only hope right now is... Wait, that didn't... Oh, okay. Yeah. Alright. Well, this feels worse. Ugh. This just feels absolutely worse than the last match we just had right now. Literally going to give it one turn here. If I can't do this in one turn, then we are dead. We're hoping to get our Edict enchantment. I realize now the Hopeless Nightmare they actually can take for themselves. Jeez, wow. Valgavoth, everyone. We never actually played with the card, so I didn't really... I haven't taken the time to look at the card myself. Alright. Thoughtseize, but that doesn't do it for us. Even if I were to do anything else, it won't matter. Okay. I can try just to see what they got. Live or die, throw that away. Okay. Alright, do you have anything else, opponents? Jeez. We got rid of everything. So they throw away our Fatal Push, and they get to keep it for themselves. They swing. We sadly block with our Bloodletter. Okay. So now take that as well. Jeez. What an insanely powerful card. Alright. Well, this was not the way I wanted to end it. I think that was actually worse than me just sticking with what I had earlier, but I don't know. Well, once again, just stuck at Platinum 4. We just cannot get out of Platinum 4, everybody. Just stuck here forever. But, alright, I'm just going to end it there, everybody. It's just, I had fun, but it just kind of fizzled there at the end. Oh well. It is what it is. You win some, you lose some. Yeah, Reanimator decks are just hard. If you don't have the Graveyard Hate in the early part of the game, you don't get to do anything. But on the other hand, they're very swingy, where if you do have the Graveyard Hate, they fold literally on the spot. But hey, it happens. It's not the worst thing for us. Sometimes it just happens. But we did get a lot of good wins today, so I'm still happy with some of the wins we got today. So, before we end it, let's go ahead, let's talk about again the deck overall. The good, the bad, and some of the ugly. So, the good parts. I really did like actually the budget one. It actually felt really good overall with what we experienced today. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I honestly don't think I would really change anything. I do like the deck currently as is, and it feels pretty good with the amount of investments we put in. If you can afford, of course, some of the upgrades, definitely do so. But also something I would definitely say is you really want to kind of practice when to use Rot Curse Roshka. This card is a really solid card, but it's kind of hard to evaluate because you saw today, when it works well, it is amazing. The amount of damage this thing can put out is hilarious. So it's a really, really good card. But the renew ability is definitely a tricky one to use because you want to make sure you can renew at the right time. Renew too slowly, you still lose. Renew too early, you might end up losing a creature, or you might end up not targeting a creature that you probably want dead that our opponent plays on the next turn. Also, with the Decayed ability, it's not actually that bad. There's plenty of ways you can reanimate it easily anyway, but we didn't really get a chance to do much of that, at least in the matches we had today. Alakar Rebirth is nice because it can still be a tap land, but it didn't perform as much as I'd like it to do. It did do some cool stuff. I was happy about the Archfiend Vessel flip. Infernal Vessel, still an okay card if you need something that needs to be a demon later on. It could be a good chump blocker, so I'm still happy with it overall, but I think best of 3 is probably where this deck feels the most effective for me. As far as the upgraded version, I do like it, but I would probably tweak it maybe a little bit more. Same thing, best of 3 is where this one works the absolute best for us. Sorry, hold on. Clicking around for no reason. Okay. Anyways, overall though, yes. Best of 3 version of this, pretty good. I did like it. There are, again, some tweaks I would probably make depending on how the meta is, so I probably didn't adjust it properly enough. But it did get wins today, so I'm still happy about that overall. As far as anything I would change for the decks, I'm not sure yet. I don't know if this is, of course, the most ideal one, but definitely I would still say play around with the key card today, which is the Rot Curse Rashkasa. This is actually a great card. I'm going to keep emphasizing that. You just need to be a little bit better than how I played it today. I was not very good with utilizing this card effectively, but when it works, it's great. When it doesn't, it fizzles, and it feels like it doesn't do anything except provide us value until the Unholy Annex gets on the field. Okay, enough of me kind of rambling about that. If you do like the decks, either one, I will definitely place them up, of course, later on today once we are done here in just a few moments. But before we are done with today, if you do stick around for just an extra moment here, my true fire friends, I'll get to kind of give you an idea of what we're looking at for content this week. And it actually is a different schedule. So, as far as what we're going to be doing, I actually have a bit of a unique schedule this week. So, the good news is I am planning on streaming again on Monday. So, only 2 days away for the next stream. So, hopefully you guys are excited for that one. All of you voted on the poll that I put up on YouTube, and it seems that surprisingly a lot of you actually want to see a standard deck for the next stream focused on Elspeth. So we are going to be going to standard with an Elspeth mono white tokens deck, and some way somehow I was able to make this actually work on a budget. Definitely the deck feels a lot more stronger when you actually have the non-budget one, but we'll talk about that in a couple days. In other words, this will be our next stream for that. Beyond that, I'm still trying to figure out and finalize our next stream, which would be beyond that, which would be next weekend, next Friday. But that's a ways away from now. As far as that means that since we're doing now a stream on Monday, the deck tech for Mardu here, this one is going to be the Mardu Mobilize, which I'm really excited for this one. This is going to be Explorer focused, of course, and this will go out Wednesday in the morning. So check that out midweek this time around, just for those of you that are eagerly waiting our next one. Otherwise, other things I'm kind of working on still, I'm making a fun Dragons deck utilizing the new Sarkhan. We'll see how this one goes. I'm still playing around with it a little bit, so it needs more time to cook. Beyond that one, the other next deck tech will, of course, be Sultai Dredge. I'm also excited for this one, too. It's not going to be as heavily influenced by the Tarkir Dragonstorm set, but there are definitely some new Dredge/Mill cards that we definitely need to infuse for the last time we played a Sultai Dredge deck quite a ways away. Otherwise, that's pretty much it, everybody. That's how we're looking at for content for the next week and some. So hopefully, again, you're excited as I am to see what is cooking up for then. We'll do probably at the beginning of May also my preview for what I believe is going to be coming out for the Final Fantasy set. I know, again, that one's going to be a very divisive one, but the previews for that one are coming up pretty soon. So be sure to tune in for that one when that time comes. But otherwise, I don't very much have anything else for you except that's it for today, everybody. Thank you one more time for everyone that did watch today. And as always, my shout outs I give out to all y'all. So everyone that was in the chat today, Den Splendid always, my all-star, thanks again for holding down the chat. I appreciate you as always. Stickman Jake, I know you said hi for a little bit there, but thanks again for popping in. Sneaky Toilet, thank you one more time also for being there for a little bit. I know you are asleep right now, but again, you still get the shout out just in case, just because. And of course, rounding it out today at the very end, MTG Hillbilly, thanks again also for stopping by. Howdy to you. And again, hopefully you're having a wonderful weekend wherever you're at. In fact, let's give everybody out here that was, of course, watching today a wonderful weekend. Have a wonderful one, of course, everybody. Enjoy whatever you're going to be doing tomorrow, whether you are celebrating tomorrow's holiday. Sorry that we don't have Easter theme / bunny day deck for you, but of course I will remind all of you, if you do want something to celebrate the holiday, last year I did make a fun egg themed deck. And if you want to, you can check out earlier this last year, we also did a rabbit themed deck. So if you want those, I'll post those up, of course, on socials if you want to have a little bit of fun with those. Either way, whatever you do, have a wonderful weekend one more time, everybody. We will get a chance to do this again very soon on Monday afternoon, more or less at the same time. So otherwise, the only other final thing I want to say to remind everybody about this is just remember that no matter what you do play in the game of life, always be sure to burn bright. We will see you again on Monday, everybody. Later.